Okay, mic check. Should be able to hear and see as well. What's going on, Donovan? Fox. All right, cool. TradePhantoms.com. Blue here. Spend a quick hour with y'all on YouTube. My vacuuming. I gotta, it's a big ass house. Still fairly empty. My vacuum. Man, Eric A is a trip. A trip. Hello. All right, cool. This wasn't scheduled, so I'm not sure why. It's all good. So I just clicked the live button here. So yeah, TradePhantoms.com, Mr. Blue here. I will spend an hour with you here. We'll cover some pre-market routine. Go over some futures, S&P, Nasdaq, oil, gold. I'll go over some VIX and go over some gaps on the mega caps. And we'll see what the day takes us here today. OPEX, options expiration this week. So I've been focusing heavy on gamma walls and open interest, etc. But to keep it more simple, I'm here on news, or we have news today. This morning we just had core. Man, it's a big ass house. Yeah, actually, I know I'm on public. I know I'm on public setting here. The house is actually, it's more than 4,000 square feet. Actually, I was on the wrong paper, so I have closer to like 4450 square feet, not including garage, whatever. So, I mean, it's not super huge. It's not the house that, it's not my dream home or anything like that. It's just a pit stop in life. But yeah, definitely have some echoing space here. I'll fill that in though as days go by. We do have core retail sales. Let's see. So core retail sales just came out. Okay, unemployment claims lower than expected. Okay, and of course, no matter what, we always have to know. We always have to know when or how the markets react on the back of that, right? So yesterday we had CPI here in the U.S. Okay, CPI. So the markets did what they did, right? A little choppy in the morning, a little bit down, a little bit up, and then we kind of squeezed out up to the upside. Then we kind of faded back down just a little bit. So markets are kind of being, they're back to their kind of slow grind pull higher right now. We talked a little bit about some advanced stuff yesterday. I'm starting to enter into some more advanced stuff with the group at Phantoms. We talked about GEX and all that. And this is a good time to talk about that kind of stuff because of the options expiration, OPEX, right? So anyways, I'll keep it more simple. How did the news react, or how did the markets react, I should say? How did the markets react to said news? As you can see, SPYs are gapping up pretty significantly here. Okay, so I'll get to that in a moment. So I'll start this off kind of officially here with futures. So I'll pop up this screen here. Should be able to see. And so a couple things here. Right before I dive into this, just in case we have some kind of new YouTube folks in here, we always want to start with the top-down approach, just really quickly, 45 seconds here, because this is extremely important. The foundation, the baseline, the backdrop of Phantoms. Okay, demand, supply, demand, top-down approach, multiple time frame analysis. Okay, starting from the top-down approach first, being monthly time frame, weekly, daily. Okay, I kind of color code things. This is a checklist that could just be a quick little foundation to your trade plan, individual trade plans. Okay, so we talk a lot about this. All right, mapping out last week's high, last week's low, etc. All right, this is downloadable for Phantoms members. Candlesticks. All right, we talk a lot about painting bars, candlesticks via supply demand, bullish, bearish candlesticks, of course. And then we also have the liquidity map. Okay, I'm more of a liquidity market maker style of trader. That's how I've been trained out there in New York City. So that's kind of what you're gonna get, at least on my side of the trade here. Okay, so this is great. Kind of gives you the 4 definitions of what you need to do based on liquidity and kind of what the market's doing. There's only 2 types of trading: auto regression, trend, okay, and mean reversion. okay, meaning markets too far too fast, need to come back to mean reversion, okay? And that's kind of what we're happening right now in the S&Ps or the markets overall, okay? Here we see S&P futures on a daily time frame. This is Think or Swim, okay, as a platform and broker here that I've been using for many, many years, options dominant, okay? And speaking of trend and auto regression and things like that, without, it's very early to talk about that kind of stuff. We have classes and things like that we can go a lot more in detail, but I will just usually always start this off here just with the S&P futures. As you can see, off the back of that data that just came out, S&P futures are up sub 1%, give or take. Okay, so I have daily time frame here, S&P futures. We've been talking a lot about the macro picture, impulse correction, and how yes, that Japanese yen interest rate, central, Bank of Japan interest rate rise since the first time since what, 2004, 2007 or whatever it was. Okay, long time ago, right? Some 20 years. That kind of rocked the market a little bit, right? Kind of rocked the market a little bit there, right? Unwinding the carry trade there. So without getting too much into detail on that, the unwind of the carry trade kind of rocked markets a little bit. Okay, so we were already in a little bit of a down, lower high on the daily time frame, but even with this big drop here, okay, even with this bigger drop that we just had here, we're still in the higher time frame macro picture uptrend. Okay, so speaking of that big drop, which was a pretty significant impulse and move. Okay, we're talking about that mean reversion. Now we're just kind of fading and grinding back. Okay, markets are kind of pulling back. Just their kind of their grind higher. Okay, and that's also signaled with the options market as well. Okay, so if I had more time, I'll talk a little bit more about this. Okay, but I will say this: this level is going to be pretty unique. I can pretty much see this market, breaking this area here, getting some liquidity here, and then just parking it up here. We got Jackson Hole coming up too at the end of August. So there's a couple things that are going on in the backdrop as well. Okay, CPI came in lower than expected. So September is supposed to be the first rate cut, but we obviously. Take it day by day, kind of week by week, month by month, etc. So we had this big impulse move down. So we're fading this higher. Okay, we're fading this higher. We had a couple of inside bars here, engulfing bar down here at the bottom, failure to make a new low down here. Okay, and then we're kind of breaking this. Now we did not break this level here, so it's going to be pretty interesting. We'll see what happens. Today's options expiration week, or tomorrow's options expiration day, I should say, for the monthlies. So we'll see. I'm going to be looking at some open interest for some insight of where this market could potentially park for the end of the week. Okay, and then we'll take it from there. So I'll drop down to the intermediate time frame, being the 6-minute time frame, because we focus on 3 time frames: the high time frame, the middle, and the low. So I will go down to the intermediate, meaning the 60-minute time frame, the middle, in a moment to map out some Globex traps, as we call it. This is the NASDAQ. I can basically say almost the same thing here, okay? Just to give you a quick little refresh, all right? NASDAQ has been stronger in terms of tech for years, okay? And, what goes up must come down at some point, right? So there's been, some major profit taking, and we have some major Magnificent Seven stocks, NVIDIA, etc. That they're selling off just a little bit, Apple, okay, Google, etc. So however, that brought the NASDAQ down to this beautiful monthly level right here, which is the actual low. Okay, so if you look at your monthlies, especially during times of high volatility and quote unquote panic, okay, those monthly timeframes are going to come into major play, and you kind of need markets to have some volatility so we can get some nice price movement. Okay, nice price movement. Everybody wants to buy low, all right, but something kind of needs to happen, all right, to crack the market, if you will, for the opportunity to buy low. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's your TED Talk for the morning. I'll get down to this. Again, the NASDAQ, same thing. So we're impulse correction, low, high on dailies. Okay, but again, monthly level and controls over here. We talk about level and control at Phantoms when we have more due time. Okay, so this level is going to be fairly decent here. Now, this is a very obvious level. I could see just on social media, Twitter, everybody's like, hey, this level right here, this market's going to come up here and just dump back down. So there's a lot of emotion wrapped around this level here on the S&P and NASDAQ. So when that happens, typically you got to kind of do a little squint eye, and when everybody is on top of it and it's on Twitter and it's all this kind of stuff and everybody's saying the same thing about it, okay, most people are generally wrong. Okay, so I would not be surprised if if market makers and things like that push this market up and get people stopped out here, get some liquidity, and come up to the next level here with a gap fill up here as well. All right, so we talk about ranges and things like that when we have more time inside of the class here. Okay, so that's just something that I'm just been noticing on social media that's been building up. Okay, I'm not big of a social media guy, but I can just see a lot of people wrapped around very emotional around this NASDAQ 19,500 level here. Okay, so when that happens, I can see market makers and liquidity kind of sweeping them out. Okay, because everybody wants this market it's going to come down. There we go. This is the end of times. This is the end of times. So, anyways, I digress. Too early for that. I'm going to save some time here. I got the Dow Jones on the lower left. I got the Russell 2000 on the bottom right. Now, I am still keeping an eye on Russell 2000. Usually during rate cut periods, small caps do favor bigger moves up. Okay, because small caps do like smaller rates because they're smaller companies, right? That are more subjected to be borrowing money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but right now that trade's not really panning out, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see over the next couple of months. I'm dying for a nice little small cap trade in terms of Russell 2000 futures and or IWM, which is going to be the ETF for that. But it's just still not kind of panning out right now. But I'm going to start to do some diligence, over the weekend, over the next couple of weeks, give or take, before September potentially, and see what's going on there for maybe a little fundamental kind of macro trade there. All right, but more on that for you phantoms, as y'all know, when we have more time and see fit. Okay, I'm just going to get straight to the point here. I'm going to go back to the higher time frames here. I'm going to go S&P futures. Okay, so just a quick little lay of the land. Okay, we got the monthly time frame here on the left. Okay, we got the weekly time frame here in the middle. We got daily, so we got monthly, weekly, daily. Call these weapons of mass destruction. Okay, the higher time frames. Okay, professional traders focus a lot on the bigger picture, top-down approach, as mentioned, right? So I'm not going to dissect this as much. Okay, impulse correction. These lines are kind of ugly. I was doing this very quickly yesterday. I should probably clean that up a little bit there. And so on the daily time frame here, we already kind of covered that a little bit here. So we do have some open space here, right? We do have some open space. However, again, options, OPEX, make sure you understand your call put walls, etc. All right, because yesterday it looked like this market was just going to scream to the upside. All right, we came up to a 545 SPY. Our call wall dipped right back down and markets went back into balance. So again, yes, futures are up very well off the back of that news. However, that doesn't mean that's going to continue up. So always be diligent. I'm going to drop down to the 60-minute time frame. So I got a 60-minute time frame upper here, upper left. I got a 30 bottom left. I got the 5 here. I have the 2 here. Okay, so I use this as my kind of middle time frame there, middle ground, and I got the small time frames here to execute. Okay, the small time frames when higher time frames line up. One of the first things that we want to map out is what's called the Globex high, Globex low. And that's just a fancy word. So I'm on a 60-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame of the S&P futures. Here is what you see. Globex high, overnight high. We just put that in. It could be a high. It could, we have 29 minutes before regular trading hours starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, but as it stands right now, okay, 55.35 is the Globex high, but represented by that blue line. Globex low. Let me just delete a couple of trades. This trade here yesterday in futures took a little late day scalp. Hit a little trade, nothing too crazy. Ended up being a small little gain there towards the end of the day. Nothing too special there. See Globex low right here. Okay, so we have Globex low, and I have a lot more time to speak about this during class, but in short, Globex trap is you want to have Globex high, Globex low, and you want to trade obviously with the macro trend, which is pretty interesting because it's still up, but we're in a little bit of a correctional move down, lower, low, high on daily. So this is level and control. So on S&P futures, I would just keep it simple here. I would pin the 5,600 still again as that supply. We had this area as supply, major supply, and the daily drop drilling down to the 60 in here, which is essentially the high because 60, essentially the high before that big drop there. So 56.75, 3 ticks into this supply zone, and then it just dumped, or even pre Japan. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that there's still some good supply up into this area here. Okay, so in the event that we do dip up into the 5,600, okay, this would be an area number 1. If you're long TP, take profit. Okay, distribution, exit some, and then potentially this could be an area 2 where you can potentially rotate here and maybe take at least at a minimum short-term bounce out of here. Okay, so I have that price. I'm going to be more conservative with y'all in here today. I'll do 5,600. I'll just keep that right there, high and tight. Now we did have a couple of little levels in here that we had just as a reference point. We've been kind of dipping in here, pulling back a little bit, but the slow grind fade higher here is just strong, very strong, at least for right now. Okay, and we got past a couple of big news announcements: PPI this week, CPI this week. All right, we just had unemployment claims, so this market pulling grinding magnetic higher. It's almost like a magnet, right? So we had this level here. It's aggressive, 5,500. You can see, you know, it just not surprised at all. Okay, this thing just got kind of blown out. This was not really a good structural level to begin with. I had to drop down to like a very small time frame to get in there. All right, and again, it's kind of in the abyss of this wide space here, right? So again, we could potentially fade higher. All right, we could potentially fade higher. I'm going to see how this markets react at or around certain call put walls. Okay, but right now, market makers are sold grind higher, and there was a lot of open interest. So if we start to hold above these levels, okay, there's going to have to be some buying pressure just for it hedging. Okay, dealer hedging. So anyways, that's going to be too heavy for right now on this. I'm speaking a lot about that right now, as mentioned, because it's OPEX, options expiration. This 54.15 handle, to keep it simple for the bulls, okay, is still valid here. We did not dip down even below this area yesterday. Okay, in the morning we had a little below VWAP for what, maybe like the first, what was it, maybe first 45 minutes, hour, give or take, looks right, and then we just we squeezed higher, okay, and then we kind of just went on a base all day for the remaining of the day. As you can see, overnight futures basing sideways, and we have a little pop. Okay, so Globex low below here. This is yesterday's low. I mean, you can put a pin on this, okay, because one of the first things on that checklist that I showed y'all, okay, is map out yesterday's low. So this is yesterday's low in yesterday for S&P futures. So you might want to put a pin on that. Okay, we can use that as an anchor. Okay, so even if we did come down, break Globex low, this would be an area decent. Okay, but then Globex trap would be even breaking this area, breaking the Globex low, and potentially breaking yesterday's low, coming into some 54.15 handle, give or take, down in here. Okay, this is what's called an IBI. If I go to a 30-minute time frame, you'll see it a little bit more structured right there. Impulse of basing, impulse, institutional order of demand right there. Okay, hey, what's going on, Jordan? Good morning, good morning. All right, so that still is fairly decent there. I'm not sure if we're gonna get down there today. All right, but we'll check the VIX and see, make sure that that's gonna be nothing too crazy is gonna be happening there. All right, so this is just yesterday's low. All right. I want to be really careful with any supply right above here. Okay, so again, that's why I'm going to be more conservative here. I got that 5,600 pinned there for you folks. Okay, NASDAQ, I'm going to do NASDAQ very quickly as well. Futures, so we got NASDAQ futures, monthly, weekly, daily. All right, daily low, 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 high, yes, albeit, but monthly, higher, high, higher, low. So monthly came in right into that monthly demand level of control, rising 20 period moving average. Okay. So monthly is going to overpower weeklies and dailies. Okay, so know your macros. All right, just like your diet. If you're lifting and gym, eat your macros. Okay, I'm going to get straight to the point here. We got 60-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame of the Nasdaq Globex high being right here. Globex low being right there. Okay. As you can see, these markets have, came up here a little bit here on the supply, little dips here, little dips here, but it's getting bought up, okay, at least for right now with this fade, okay? So, point that I'm trying to make here, again, remember I mentioned that everybody and their grandmother on Twitter, X, whatever you call it, X, shitter, excuse my language, I don't want to get banned here, but everybody and their grandmother's looking at this level here. It's like, oh, this market's going to come right up here and it's going to just tank. Okay, so there's a lot of emotion right here. All right, so I don't want you to be like that. Retail, we train people how to be more professional, okay, and liquidity wise. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nasdaq does squeeze higher and punch above this 19,700 area and come up into the 20,000. Okay, 20,000. I can easily see, hey, Nasdaq's back up to the 20,000 handle and getting everybody excited about, hey, bull market's back up, bull market's back up, bull market back up, and that's where you get your bigger mean reversion. Okay, so don't be like Joe. Okay, just average Joe. All right, I want you to think in terms of liquidity. Okay, so I'll put a pin on that. 19,945. okay, is going to be a nice area where could potentially, in the event that we snap this area right here, okay, now don't get me wrong, there is some supply here, don't get me wrong, but when there's a lot of emotion wrapped around these areas here, especially with retail, okay, it becomes less reliable, okay, because retail is just always just wrong, okay, always wrong on most things, okay, so I got this 20,000 in short handle pinned right there, okay. All right. So, however, in all fairness, okay, I will put, I will keep this supply area here, just for reference, of course, because you can't argue that level right there. But it's very obvious. Okay, it's very obvious. Now it is the level of control. Okay, but we can potentially see a fakey breaky up here. Okay, so some of you folks in Phantoms know what a fakey breaky is. All right, I'm looking for a fakey breaky potentially on Nasdaq up here. So if I were to short this market, okay, it would be on a snap above here. I know that sounds crazy because you say, "Whoa, wait, we just broke this level and we're now back above 20,000." But exactly, that's exactly where you get people sucked in. Okay, get people sucked in where. And that's usually where flips happen. Just like everybody was fearful that the world was going to be ending here. Okay, VIX 65. Okay, then that was the low right on Monday morning. Okay, there was a joke my buddy was saying. Japanophobes were shorting S&P and Nasdaq futures overnight. Regular Americans were buying stock 9:30 a.m. market open on Monday, and he said that last night, and I literally spit my drink out, laughing out loud. He called them Japanophobes selling short futures overnight on Sunday night into Monday morning. Regular Americans wake up at 9:30, sipping their coffee, buying stock 9:30 a.m. in the morning, VIX 55, and I never lost my shit more than ever. I had a good laugh in a long time. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Back to business. That was funny. Maybe to you, maybe to me, maybe not to y'all, but to me that was freaking hilarious. The 18,900. We almost touched this yesterday. We have an IBI. What is a Japanophobe? What is that? What? Anyways, 18,900. I have to realize I'm on YouTube here. Let's see, 18,900. I'm not sure if that's going to hit today. Probably not. But there's really nothing nice about these areas here for a Globex trap, other than 18,900. Everything in here is kind of already kind of just grindy. Okay. Of course, yes, we have a news bar right here. This is very obvious. Everybody's going to be looking at this. So we could pull back. Okay, we could pull back into this area here, into the Nasdaq and S&Ps as well. Okay, so that would be an area of interest. Decent, don't get me wrong, but usually, sometimes if they do swipe this and we get below here, we could pick up some liquidity if we break down below here. Okay, I would also maybe pin that 19,000 area too. Yesterday's lows being here as well. Okay, at 18,927-ish, 25-ish. Okay, but I would pin 19,000. I would also pin 18,900 right down in here as well. All right, and again today, being the Thursday, tomorrow being Friday expiration. All right, I'm going to be looking at QQQs, the ETF of Nasdaq. This is Nasdaq futures for some call put wall confluence. Okay, I'm going to move on real quick. Oil futures. Just looking at the time, 9:11, 9:12. Okay, we got oil, monthlies, weekly, daily. Okay, oil mid-range. Okay, nothing has really changed. Okay, we've been bobbing up and down between range. We're kind of in the middle of range, so be careful with oil. We're still in a mother bar. I'm on a daily time frame here on the right. Since 8:12 on Monday, we had Tuesday, Wednesday, today being Thursday. All of these candles right here on the daily on the right hand side here are all inside of Monday's inside of Monday's high and Monday's low. Okay, so that means that oil hasn't really done much since Monday. Okay, Monday was a nice breakout day, all right, breaking the supply over here, which is, I told everybody in Phantoms that, be careful with this supply. It's just mid-range and it's not a trending market. Oil's not a trending market right now. It's a range market. So you have to trade trend markets versus range markets very differently. The condition is different, okay? You don't want to wear a snowsuit on 106-degree weather, okay? You could, but, you're probably going to be uncomfortable, okay? People are going to be looking at you funny, right? Wrong attire for condition, right? So you got to wear shorts and bikinis, okay, and speedos during summertime. All right. So the condition here is just going to be rangy and choppy, right? So you have to wait for more extremes. Right now we're kind of in the middle, and to put salt on the wound here, the inside bar of Tuesday of Monday's bar is letting us know that oil is just kind of parking here in the middle of range. So not ideal. So just be careful with that. Okay, understand the higher time frame, monthly, weekly, daily picture, macros. And now if we do drill down, okay, we can scale down a little bit here. We did have this level. A lot of Phantom members have been eating off this level at the 78. We also have another level down here that we pinned out in Phantom, 77.25. And as you can see, we're getting bounces out of here. Don't get me wrong, getting bounces out of here. All right, we're getting bounces out of here. Again, really, we need some momentum here. So that pink line here, the aggressive pink line up here and the aggressive pink line down here is, again, that Monday high and low range. And again, as you can see, Tuesday, Wednesday, now being Thursday, we're just kind of like, just grinding a little bit low higher in here. Okay, so be careful with oil. All right, the momentum is still fairly up, but we're mid-range. So again, it's not the greatest condition. Okay, but we'll see if we can continue potentially if this demand does not give out and the mother bar does not give out. If this holds here, okay, I would look out for a liquidity sweep right here first and foremost. Okay, if we need a close below here. Okay, it could be wicking, it could be come down here, wick people out. Okay, and then come back in and close within range. That would be a fakey breaky. Okay, but right now, we are low range on the mother bar. Okay, still when momentum is fairly higher in mid range. Okay, so if you understood kind of the words that were just coming out of my mouth, Chris Tucker, rush hour, okay, and this is a rush hour for sure, then you should be okay. Now, right now, off the back of that news, oil coming off this demand zone at 77.25, okay, which I might even gave out on YouTube as well on Tuesday. I'm not sure. You can go watch that recording. But we do have a nice little positive CRG that's about to be printed here in oil coming from that low range on mother bar low, okay, off that demand zone 77.25. Okay, so you might want to be working on some oil longs here potentially. Just for some day trading, okay? So this bar is going to close in about 15 minutes. If we were to get a close here, on a 30-minute time frame here, oil futures, if we were to close above this bar, this white line is VWAP as well. We are above VWAP, volume weighted average price, okay? Conquering that 78 number right here. This is going to be what's called a positive COG, okay, where signifies where buyers take over sellers, right, at close lower demand. Okay, all right, even though momentum kind of slowed down a little bit here, market's just kind of parking here in mid-range as mentioned. Okay, so oil's pretty interesting. All right, oil's pretty interesting. Some of my phantoms already know who are trained up. All right, we got some bars here. This is a nice bar to lean against right here as well. Okay, this bar right here to lean against. Okay, we got VWAP right here. So the thing I like about oil right now, even though the condition is kind of cloudy, if you will, we have a nice little pivot area where, okay, if we're proven wrong, it's very definitive. And that's what I like. So you always got to define risk. So this area right here is very definitive in terms of, okay, if this is wrong and there's no follow through, then I am wrong, then get out. So if this happens, then that, right? So that's how you got to trade, right? Edge, okay, professional, okay, if this, then that sequence. If this, then that. No thoughts, no feelings. Okay, so this would be stop loss area, okay? And you can work on oil, especially if this is going to have a nice positive COG close in the next 15 minutes, give or take, on the 30-minute time frame, okay? Okay, not too bad there. We got VWAP right there to help that supportive case as well, okay? All right. All right, so we have this thing called painting bars, bar by bar. So we got a couple areas here where you can work on pullbacks into down here. Could be a little bit of a liquidity sweep right here too. All right, shaking out some smaller short-term, just short-term 1-minute traders, etc. Okay, and you can work on that there. But I would like to see that 30-minute bar close as a positive COG first and foremost. All right, so everything is about patience in trading and investing, and you got to be patient. All right, wait for your setup. Wait for it to set up. All right, that is a skill set that you must develop as a professional. Okay, or if you want to enter a professional league. Okay, gold futures monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, monthly, weekly, daily. Macro bull, right? You can see gold was trying to pop a new high here. Okay, I had mentioned that OPEX, GLD also has gold has options as well. GLD is the ETF. So, I was mentioning yesterday, I just made a note to the group live in the live trade room that, I'm not sure if gold's going to pop out here just with OPEX being this week. Okay, so, market makers are trying to probably, just keep things kind of calm right now It's a refresh into the new OPEX month or into the next month expiration. So I made a note of that. So right now, gold kind of came up here, tested this area here, did not pop a new high, and we're pulling back a little bit here. All right, that's no big deal. It's not going to change the trend or anything like that. But gold is, this chart's really ugly here, but gold has been up, but it's been very slow, grindy up. So we could have some deeper corrections here, and especially we did not make a new high here. So we're pulling back. We're pulling back on that. All right, Globex high, Globex low. All right, we had a couple demand levels. We had this one panned out. I'm not sure if anybody took this one. Okay. All right, option put calls help gain edge. So that's the thing that I was making a note. There's my note from yesterday to the group or the day before. I'm not sure I remember. I think it was yesterday. Anyways, there's a note. So options expiration is going to be important. We just had Globex low here. We're already feeling kind of Globex trapping here on gold. Because gold has different hours of operation here. So you can see gold right here. We already did kind of, we had this little bounce right here, kind of swept below this level. That was the Globex low right here. Gold futures here. All right. In the event that we do crack down a little bit lower here, I still have that 24.51. I did check open interest on GLD as well. There's a supportive case for a put wall down here as well. Okay, so 24.50 handle is going to be a decent little IBI here. Not the greatest structural level in the world. It did develop during the regular trading hours, but yeah, that's going to be a definitely area of interest here. Of course, I could see most people looking at this level here, I'm sure. Okay, yes, that's a level of demand, albeit happened overnight. I could really, I could see them kind of sweeping below here. Okay, I could see them sweeping below here, and this level right below here, level on level. Okay, which we talk a lot about when you go through the process at Phantoms. That's overnight as well. So this is the regular trading hours where we have an IBI. Okay, this is closer down to the lower range, and also we have options puts here as well. That is going to be supportive of that. So again, just putting everything together, Phantoms, we talk a lot about trading every single asset class, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto, right? So the more asset classes that you understand and trade, the better that you could put the picture together. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of retail traders do is like, oh, I only want to be a forex trader. Oh, I only want to do this, right? And that's not bad. Don't get me wrong. You can start somewhere, but as you start to grow and grow and grow, you're going to realize that all these markets are interconnected. All these markets are connected. Bonds affect stocks. Okay, stocks affect bonds, and vice versa. Okay, currencies affect stock. Everything. It's all one major right. Look what happened in Japan. All right, I don't even have to talk about this so much. Okay, something that happened in Japan on the interest bank change, Bank of Japan, affected U.S. markets. All right, and other markets as well. All right, so we live in one big world. Okay, even though a lot of people fight. Okay, we're all human, I think, and we're all interconnected, especially these days with internet communications. Right. Anyways. All right, we're not in for a geography class here. We're going to get some levels here. So 24.50 is going to be a nice one there. Again, I want to be careful giving you shorts on gold. Okay, I want to be careful with that. All right, if anything, it's a very short scalp. It's short-lived, and then markets just break out. So again, like I said, probably after OPEX, especially with some weird stuff going on around the world right now. Okay, gold is always going to be a safe haven, right? So it's going to be very hard to short gold. So just be careful with that. All right, I would not be surprised over the next maybe week or two, or I would say I'll give it a couple months, give or take, potentially, where gold potentially could be making a new all-time high. Okay. All right, so yeah, cool. So I'll leave that there. Okay, 24.50. I'm only gonna give you the high quality levels there. All right, there's a little levels over here, bounce, but just be careful with those. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the VIX. All right, one of my favorite things on the planet. And let's just see what the VIX is. All right, if you're fairly new here, just real quick, I'm just gonna take a quick sip of coffee. If this is kind of your jam and you're liking it, you can go to TradePhantoms.com, click that register button there. And I think today's Thursday, right? Coffee. Thursday the 15th today, this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. Put your name, your email there, okay? Register, you get sent a link. And there's going to be a 90-minute class, give or take, hosted by either Mr. Green, Mr. Black, two amazing traders. All right, and this is kind of the syllabus, how markets work from a professional standpoint, every direction, up, down, sideways. Okay, all asset classes, not just about stocks, futures, forex, options, crypto, as mentioned, day trading, swing trading, long-term investing. All right, so if you're just trying to look to trade for short-term income, okay, supplement income from your job, okay, all right, or long-term wealth, retired, or nobody's ever too young to start for long-term retirement, all right, but even long-term wealth, so everything there, all the way down to short scalping S&P futures, all the way to selling puts, cash secured for long-term investment and portfolio management, okay. So there you go. VIX down 4%. So we had this major VIX spike. Okay, VIX has been fading lower, fading lower. So VIX down, market up. Okay, so volatility contraction is just grinding markets higher, back higher on that on that big drop down. So inverse correlation here. Okay, inverse correlation. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low on VIX. So VIX being down sub 4%, 5%. Yesterday was started to be down what, something crazy like almost 10%. Okay, so the numbers are bigger now because volatility expansion, right? So even yesterday, VIX was down about 10%, and we were mainly bullish yesterday for the most part. I did a stupid trade in Qs too late, but made it right later in the afternoon when I got hyper focused. Anyways, today, let me map out the overnight high, overnight low, and set VIX here. All right, I'm just looking at the time here, 5 minutes before open. You can see VIX yesterday, nice, beautiful, slow grind lower. Okay, we had a couple of folks in Phantoms. There's a guy called Great One, love that dude. He was all morning saying, hey, this VIX is down, this VIX is down. Why this market below VWAP? And then next thing you know, about 30 minute close bar later, okay, had a nice doji pop. Okay, so that VIX is a very good telling sign, okay, of what side to be on. Okay, so love me some VIX. Okay, can't trade without it. Okay, can't trade it without it. So if VIX goes higher, okay, market's more bearish. If VIX fades lower, okay, market's going to be more bullish. So you can see this VIX just continuing to fade its spike from August 5th, okay? That record-breaking VIX move, okay, has not moved up and down as quickly as it has, even during COVID times. So a little bit of a blip there. I'm reading some things on VIX right now regarding that from the CBOE. So I'll have more data on that as well, okay? But there goes the VIX for overnight high, overnight low. All right, let's see. Usually I'll go over some gold here in bonds as well. I don't have enough time for that right now. Usually I'll also build a call put wall, okay? So just be careful, folks, here, okay? Because we do have this move up, move up, move up. Let me clean this up just a little bit here. This is the notes from yesterday. This will just take me less than 10 seconds. Let's see. I want to get some gaps too. Yesterday I was late on the gaps and I missed an easy Google trade. All right, next call put wall on SPYs of 550. Okay, so even though we are pre-market quote right now is 549, so we're gapping up all the way up here. Futures are up, right? So just be careful because we have a move. We have a move up. We go back to the dailies real quick. Outside gap. Now, just because we're gapping up does not mean that we're going to continue. This is a fairly decent gap here. Okay, so we have a gap up. We had move up off this. Okay, move up, gap up. Okay, move up. Okay, and then we had a green close. Then yesterday we had a little slight gap up, kind of faded down a little bit, closed up high here, decent. Okay, put in a decent little day yesterday, nothing too crazy. And then now we have a green bar close and gap up here. So we're getting a little novice-like here, novice-like here. And we also have that 550 open interest order block on SPYs. Okay, so this is going to be a major area right here. Okay, and we also have, of course, entering some form of supply up here as well. So want to be diligent. Just because we're gapping up does not mean that we're going to continue up. So as always, we want to be patient, disciplined to see how markets are going to, intraday tape is going to react. Okay, but there is some stuffs up here. All right, a little bit of a, I would say, a little bit of a novice gap. Okay, a little bit of a novice gap here this morning in SPYs. So just be a little cautious. That 550 is going to be a major handle here today on SPYs. Nasdaq, same thing for the most part. Okay, I gotta put my call put walls on Nasdaq. All right, now remember that I said this level is very obvious. Okay, very obvious. Everybody's talking about that. And also, as a note there, remember I mentioned we have if we break this level, there's also a gap fill in Nasdaq right there. So again, retail that's so obsessed with this level in Nasdaq. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they swipe this up. Okay, get people to sucker in, stop people out on liquidity. Buy stops here would fuel this up. sucker people into getting into this market. And there's another gap fill right here. So there's a bunch of gap fills on Qs. Okay, QQQs is the ETF for Nasdaq that are unfilled here that are used for massive imbalances. Okay, so don't take my word for it. Look at it right here. Look at this massive gap fill right here. Boom, gap fill, unfilled gap, close to monthlies, and that's at or around where the Nasdaq took a bottom off of Japan's bank rate cut or rate increase. Okay, so gaps are extremely important here, and as you can see, we were on top of this gap right here in S&P's. S&P's already filled its gap, and look at the reaction that we had over here. Okay, so we had a gap down, S&P's filled that gap, and then boom, slam right back down. That was that 5,600 S&P futures handle there as well. Okay, I'm gonna move on here. Apple, side cap up. Now Apple is gapping up into this supply area here, so be very cautious here today. So even though we have a move up, Apple has not had a red day. Okay, move up, green. Ever since that big move down, was such a technical level, pretty simple. Oh my God, you can't get more cleaner and simpler than that. Okay, it was once all-time highs, break, retest. I mean, wow, markets are beautiful, beautiful mechanisms. Okay, off that. Okay, we had green bar, but now we have a green bar up. Okay, gap up into supply. So be very cautious up here. All right, for the bulls. Okay, wouldn't be surprised if we did a little liquidity sweep, went a little bit higher up here. All right, so I want to also pin Apple up here today, potentially just for a potential liquidity sweep. Okay, remember it's OPEX, so market makers might want to push markets a bit, keep it a bit more calm. All right, for less hedging. All right, Amazon. Amazon does have a decent little pain gap here because we had red bar close yesterday in Amazon, and we have a nice little pain gap here. So Amazon. It's been a late bloomer. It's been kind of like one of the things where intraday I've been noticing on Amazon, where it's been looking decent, but it moves like latter part of the day recently. But we do have a nice little pain gap on Amazon. I'll be courteous of that. Yesterday I missed an easy trade in Google. Today there's no gap in Google, unfortunately, so it's not going to be as greater of a setup than it was yesterday. Tesla. Let's see. I am holding a little bit of some Tesla here off yesterday's move, but today inside gap, no big deal here. We can move on there. Meta. I'm tired of trading Meta. Took a loss in Meta yesterday. Let's see. Inside gap. Nothing too crazy there. Microsoft outside gap. There's some space here. On Microsoft. Microsoft's been taking some time to develop too as well. Intraday. We got NVIDIA up in this area here. Our AMD, let me just check. AVGO, one of my faves. Gapping up. Okay, so everything's kind of gapping up here. Mostly. Let's check some internals. Be patient. Just want to get a foot of the market here. Just opened. All right. Gap up. We're already kind of at or around that 550 call wall there. Advanced declines, positive 1600. Fairly extreme. See if that remains the case. It's always a little nervous to trust the first print on Vol D here, but right now, out the gate, buy volume is very strong. All right, but stay patient. Tesla's one of my favorite stocks on the planet, but Tesla's been inside day, kind of messing around a little bit there, so I love it, but recently it's just been inside. All right, we took a nice trade on, Tuesday together, because it was an inside mother bar break, but we're back inside. All right, but we are kind of holding above that daily 200 there. We got above last week's high, so it'll be pretty interesting. Let me just get some sectors real quick. Hold on for a second here. See XLK out the gate. Very strong. All right, green screen so far. Tesla does have wide range bar here on the first two. On the right. Discretionary. So actually discretionary is the stronger one, and Tesla is a discretionary. Alta earnings. Lulu. So yeah, discretionary is strong today. The only thing with Tesla is I want to be careful here with this little area right here. So if we can get a close above there, that might be decent. Amazon, be patient with that. AVGO. Yeah, I want to be a little careful with Tesla. Be a little bit patient on that. JP Morgan rocking. But we are coming up into some levels here. Visa. Visa's actually coming out of a break. Visa's good here because we have a base break, outside bar open, hammer bar last week. Okay, above last week's high, outside bar open from this inside bar break. So Visa actually has some play here. Wide range bar off open on twos as well. So Visa, long call. August 16th expiration. I'll check BAC. Let's see. Spread's a little wide on Visa. That's the one caveat here. But if we pick up the at the money's 265, if you hit market, they're going for about $1.34. All right, I'll get some Visa play here on this outside gap clear, this clearing gap. So Visa August 16th, 265 strike calls. Quick day trade here. All right, so I'm going to fill these here. And it's got filled at 133, basically where it is right here. 130, 133. I'll just put a line there real quick. I gotta move on. I feel like I gotta speed this up just a little bit there. Again, I want to be a little patient on Tessie there. Let's see. Man, this thing needs hard to even fill in. JP Morgan. Somebody mentioned Bank of America. Let's see. Bank of America, very similar. Pretty similar. Clearing gap. Good morning, Sean. Fairly decent. Bank of BAC. You can see so far Fang gap up but fade down right now. Be patient. On a lot of the big stocks, big names here. That 550 handle on SPY is a major jail at the moment. Okay, so daily VWAP, it's gonna be interesting. All right. Just pulling some VWAPs. Be patient, folks. Tesla breaking through fairly good. Discretionary strong this morning. My runners from yesterday are getting slammed. NVIDIA has nice little positive COG here on NVDA here. bottoming tail yesterday. So we do have some space here. They might want to punch this level right here on liquidity on dailies, 120s. So Nvidia is giving us a nice little intraday setup right here so far on the small time frames, long call. All right, I like it because again, definitive of risk. All right, so NVDA, long call. This was yesterday's trade. I took a loss on NVIDIA yesterday. All right, Phantoms, we don't hide losers. Let me see. So I'll pick up the 119 half strike call. 119. Ooh, big gamma right here, 116. If we snap above 120, there's going to be probably some squeeze action happening here. I like it. Just got better. Just got better. Just got better here. All right, if we do hold bids today. So if you pick up the what did I say? The 119 half strike. 119. This bottom one right here. Okay, this 119 half strike, 16th expiration for a day trade. You might even want to carry this over to potentially tomorrow, because if we snap above 120 and hold above 120, there's a big open interest order block right there, 116,000, okay, on monthly expirations. So I'm going to get long call here on NVDA ticker 119 half. This depending on how today plays out, this could be a potential hold for tomorrow morning, or for tomorrow, OPEX, okay? So for right now though, however, NVDA, I'll pick some up here. You're only going for about $1.70, not too bad for the calls. Trigger is pulled. That's a trade that I almost just have to take. I have to take that. So I just got filled at 177 on these calls here. On the 119 half strike, okay? Potentially a holdover for tomorrow, if you're comfortable with the risk. All right, I'll scale out. I kind of went decent heavy on that because I do want to hold. I want to scale out some today if it works out and I have fall through, and then like as mentioned, might want to depending on how this plays out, maybe even hold some for tomorrow. So long call for a day, and kind of for tomorrow. A tomorrow play. Okay. All right, so we'll see. All right, that 120 is a daily high, weekly high, and there's a massive open interest there for Gemma. There's a gap fill right here. So even if we can fill up the gap at 120, 122-ish, 123-ish, those calls will be 2-3 points in the money. Okay, those calls will be 2-3 points in the money. All right, cool. So that's in the video. Let's see. Meta is so annoying. Am I looking at that? Let me just check SPY's open interest here. All right, so you can see the 550 open interest, very heavy right there. All right, so you can see we're kind of holding just below that for right now. All right, put wall. Let's see. All right, so just be a bit more patient here. All right, now what we could potentially do, let me just check VIX and internals. You know, VIX is not really spiking up. It's on an uptick, but it's still fairly low. Usually for a bearish play, I would want to see VIX kind of sustain some kind of upwardness. But because of that 550 call wall, this could be a decent little, quick little low risk entry here for SPY puts, potentially. Okay. Now I don't want to put my stop loss right above the high here. Now, and if this fails, just be okay with that. Be okay with that. So again, the internals are I'm kind of going against that. Is Tesla doing something here? It's trying. It's trying. We did break above. It is outside bar, so it is getting a bit of a higher score here, as the opening days in range is kind of being put in here. So I do like how it's outside bar on dailies now. We are kind of holding VWAP. It's fairly decent. Tesla's at the top of the list, of course, as with discretionary as well. So let's see if this does pop. Let's get some risk on Tesla here. The fact that it broke that daily high and now is outside bar is a vote of confidence here. So let's keep it simple. We have an OI block at 215. So if you pick up the 212, they're going for about $2. Not too bad there. If you want to pick up the 215, they're going for about $1.30. So these bottom ones here, these bottom two greens. All right, I'll pick up the 212 half. All right, long call. I'll pick up the 212 half long call. All right. All right, so Tesla, long call, got filled at 228 on the 212 half strike. All right. And we got a nice positive COG to work with. All right, good job, folks. All right. This will be a day trade. Oh, so we'll see if we can fall through there. Let me see. Fang's a little odd here. Now let me see, spies. We're still kind of teetering with that 550 handle. This market just does not want to go down. AVGO fixing for a pop. It's above its daily supply too. So AVGO cleared. Broadcom, AVGO, cleared dailies. It's holding its view up right now. Let's see. Staying away from Meta today. NVIDIA long. Yeah, AVGO's looking good. AVGO might want to try to do a little pop here. Let's see. What? My time's up already? This hour flies, man. Comparative to yesterday, we traded all day in the trade room. We went from all the way from open to close. Savages and phantoms. No lunch break. Oh, nothing's really proven to me. The irony is Tesla is the most. The irony. All right, Visa got a little bit. Visa might be taking some heat here. All right, usually those deep pullbacks in here is not too great, but for some risk parameter, usually I don't like to put my stop right below here, but so far no fall through here. On that, Tesla decent little fall through. AVGO we could try here. It's not really too exciting, but let's see if we get some. What does AVGO look like? Just in terms of some risk here. Not a major open interest block. 160 was the other one. So they're above that. Let's see. So AVGO long call. If you were to pick up, say, the 162, slightly 50 delta here, this is not bad here for a play. All right, bullish. I want to be a little careful with the bullish exposure here, as S&Ps are trying to conquer the reclaimed 550 handle. But 162 strike call on AVGO Broadcom, going for about $1.90. I'll pull the trigger on that. All right, probably get filled here, 190, 185. We'll see. And 185 on the 162 strike call. Day trade. All right, Tesla, we got a nice little pump here. Good job, y'all. So I'm gonna scale out of some Tesla here. Take some profit. All right, from 228 to 281. All right, I got a runner on from yesterday that is losing value. All right, but I got a new trade here this morning. We took some profit on Tesla yesterday, but anyways, take some profit here this morning here today for this. Tesla TP, take some profit. All right, nice little bump here on Tesla, 228 to, let's see the fill here in a moment. On premium, 291. Lock that up. Visa, on the other hand, struggling just a little bit. Visa got trapped. This is my older monitor. This is my older monitor. The new rig is not quite set up 100% just yet. I actually have to wait for something getting delivered from Amazon. I think it's coming tomorrow. I need a, I forget what it's called. One of those adaptive wires. I forget what it's called. So that's going to be a weekend hobby, weekend project for me this weekend for sure. NVIDIA TP. We'll do that. Visa, annoying right now. NVIDIA. Nice little pop here. Let's TP some NVIDIA. So we got Tesla good, Visa pullback, annoying, and then we got NVIDIA, Tesla decent. All right, TP some NVIDIA. AVGO decent too. TPing some NVIDIA here. 191 they filled me at. QQQs, let's check that out. TP means take profit. Let's check out. We kept internals first. Decent, decent. VIX chilling. SPY just on VWAP on that 50 handle. AVGO can maybe TP a bit there. NASDAQ is stronger. Yeah, you can work on some NASDAQ long calls. Okay, there's probably some put wall action going on here too. Call wall action. Let me just see. Yeah, we are above the 470, 80,000. So Q's fairly decent here. So long call some Q's. I tread lightly a bit with this one. But let's see, if you were to pick up, say, you know, the 471, or go for 250. If you pick up the 472, not too bad there. A lot of open interest there. 472. Either one of these are fairly decent here. All right, 471, 472 strike call. All right, I'll pick up the 471. It'll be more a higher delta, but which is decent. But just want to be a little cautious on this area up here too. Just be a little cautious on that. All right. But yeah, this is fairly decent here. 471, decent. I'd keep an eye on this, a squinty eye on that. All right, so what is that? The 471. All right. That's my little baby girl in the background calling for Dada. She wants to trade. 250. All right, so I just filled these at 255 on QQQs. All right, let's see. I'm still laughing in my head from Eric A. Are you vacuuming? Are you vacuuming? Are you vacuuming? Day trade. Long call, day trade, long Qs. Amazon. AMD's probably following through too, along with the video. But I gotta go. This hour goes by too quick. So Visa right now is the only headache. But it's looking decent here now. So give it some space and time, right? We pulled back on the pullback, but you could potentially what's called RL reducing RE reduce exposure. All right, if you'd like. All right, now yeah, it's supposed to be like a noise blocker, but apparently it sounds like a vacuum wind tunnel here. Let's see. Yeah, so if you wanted to reduce a little exposure on Visa, you could here. All right, but it's back above VWAP, so we'll see. You got a nice little wide range bar here, so we could be able to pick up some more steam there. Netflix, I'm staying away from Netflix today. Meta. All right, FANG's looking fairly more healthy here, so mainly to do with mainly tech. So we just got long Qs. So that kind of encompasses a lot of these FANG stock because, you know, even though Amazon looking decent here, the spot that it's in is kind of weird, right in mid location. So, you know, we got some Qs. AVGO, TP some. AVGO and bingo was his name. Oh, TP, take profit, AVGO. taking some off here, got filled at 205, right where it's at right now, as you can see on screen. And smooth. ABC, always be closing. TP Teme. All right, in the event Visa does not make a new high or it makes a failure to make a new high. Nice, AVO just popped a little bit more if you want to scale out a little bit more there on that. I'll just do this publicly on recording here. I'm going to scale out just a little bit. This is a small little loss here. If I'm going to reduce it a little bit here, in the event that we don't, if we fail to make a new high, then I want to make sure that I'm protecting some capital here. So this is going to be, I'm going to scale out, but this is not a profit. This is going to be kind of RE, reduce exposure here. All right. I want to still give it some time and space. All right, but right now, you know, so I think y'all get that, right? Hopefully. All right, I'm not going to get all out, but I'm going to reduce a little bit here. In the event that what if it doesn't break a new high? So at Phantoms, we always talk about risk. You know, risk first, right? Always risk. So always about risk management. So just let some go here. What got 93 cents? Just let some go here. All right, albeit yes, small loss, but cutting that. All right, just a little bit, reducing some exposure. Simple as that. All right, so usually I'll just put like a RE. I think we say in Phantoms here, right? RE, reduce exposure. So, you know, cut losers and manage losers or reduce loser risk and, you know, ride winners, right? So that's the name of the game. All right, AVGO. And bingo, what's his name? Oh, TP. All right, from 185 to 240. All right, TP some here, AVGO. And got filled at 235. It's a TP type of morning, yes sir. Smoother than yesterday. I made some silly mistakes personally myself. I'm not too happy with myself yesterday. I mean, it came out good, day was good, but in the morning I was a little off. NVIDIA, if you want to scale out a little bit more of NVDA here. Yep, good work team. Everything's teamwork here at Phantoms. Good job, y'all. So TP some NVIDIA down here from 177 to 217. You already TP'd some here, but again, I'm leaving some on there for tomorrow, but I'm going to TP a little bit here, okay? I went kind of heavy on this because I'm leaving on some for tomorrow as well, as mentioned, right? But still, right now for today, I want to make sure that I'm booking in some gains here, which by default is also going to reduce some exposure in the event that, you know, tomorrow this thing just pukes out. All right, so 219 fill. All right, of course, still in. I'm holding this for tomorrow. All right, let's TP some Qs. Shout out Joseph Openshaw, my man. Shout out Joseph Openshaw, my man. Yeah, good job, brother. QQQs, TP. All right, nice QQQs. All right, 255 to 331. Hey, let's lock in some Qs here. TP some Qs. And the market's not making me do any heavy lifting this morning. Fairly smooth. pretty strategic with picking the proper tickers here. Got filled at 322 on some QQQs. I have some other things that I'm looking at here, but I'm gonna save that for not for YouTube, for the Phantoms members. Some things need to remain in the family for the team, right? So I'm holding my impulsions to do that. That's not fair to the Phantoms. Tessie. Damn, AMD, nice. AVGO, nice. I don't trust Meta one bit. Google weird. Google yesterday was amazing. I missed that. Shout out Eric A. He caught that yesterday. Beautiful trade. Microsoft Sketch. All right, cool. My time's done. I went over in time. Not even realizing it. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So hopefully all good. All right, the management is good. We got some, what we do, Tesla right off the open. We got Qs, good. Tesla, good. NVIDIA, good. Holding on to those. AVGO, good. Visa, okay. But we made execution, good job. You can see some of the Phantoms members know exactly when and where and why to execute. If you notice here, folks, I don't even have to work as hard because we have a team here. So at the moment that somebody had put in that chat, okay, what should we be doing here, was a beautiful time to reduce some exposure. Okay, so again, we this is beautiful stuff. Training people how to execute at the right timing. Okay, you can't time the market. Okay, well, what do you mean you can't time it? Okay, yeah, you can if you know what you're doing in terms of liquidity. Okay, liquidity. All right, so that's what we train folks here, Phantoms, with the supply demand as the foundation. All right, and then we have a obviously a proprietary strategy that I've learned out there in New York City, market maker style, where we train folks. Okay, so you can see we were long, sell to exit, right? At least distribution, we failed to make a new high right here, but we reduced some exposure. Okay, so even if this were to be a loss on Visa, okay, well, we reduce that, and then if we have to accept defeat, okay, it'll be less than what we did if we did not reduce exposure when we needed to execute. Okay. All right, spies. Again, folks, I'll leave you with this. Keep track of that 550. Okay, I like this failure here. So we have this new high. So and we're back below 50. So let's see. So even if we were to, there's a thing that we do. We map out what's called a call put matrix. Okay, I'm gonna save that for exclusive Phantoms here. Y'all know what I'm talking about already, members and Phantoms. Yeah, get that going for yourselves. Okay, if you know how to put that together. Okay, and we'll see. Yeah, so this 550 is gonna be pretty interesting because we cannot really sustain above that 550 call, that call wall on spies. Okay, all right, and this is kind of the first failure here. So this is that bar is pretty nasty there. Okay, we got our first 3-minute bar print. So go ahead and paint your bars. All right, we're below that. All right, so it'll be pretty interesting to see. All right, and this is only 6 minutes into this bar here. All right, we already kind of swiped below that. All right, so if we were to pick up some SPY puts, all right, it's still a little early on that, but we're getting some decent price action for it. That 550, just be careful. It might not fill all the way in this gap. All right, so we do a couple things where we could, here's the close of yesterday, here's the open of today. So how much of the gap is it gonna fill? Just pulling a basic, silly fib, 33, 50, 66. So I don't know, are we gonna get if this does follow through a bit more deeper, are we gonna get a 33% fill? Are we gonna get a 50% gap fill, etc.? Are we gonna get a 60, 100, whatever? So if you wanted to snag some puts really quickly because of that 50 handle, just cannot sustain above that. Let me see what that looks like here, just real quick. I'll leave y'all with that. Let's see what we're trading, 549. So if I were to, usually have the call put matrix mapped out here. I actually picked up tomorrow's expiration on Qs. That's why this is wrong. SPYs. We still haven't really cracked anything here, so it's still kind of a long shot. So you might want to wait for the next 30-minute bar close to print, but let's see, if you were to prepare this. I gotta clean this monitor. Gross. I can see what that person was saying. Be a little bit patient with this one here. All right, I wouldn't want to get too deep out of the money here, but 50. Let's just say, to give you at least a rule of thumb here, let's just say 50% gap fill here. So that'd be maybe the 546 strike, give or take. So, I mean, that would be what, 47 cents there DTE. If you want to get a little more delta, maybe 57. Okay. So if you would pick up, say, the 447 strike put. All right, that's only going for about 66 cents here. All right, just fill that right here. Live account. All right, dip in here. You can ease your way in, and or what you could do is maybe wait for the next 30-minute close to see if we can get a true kind of bearish engulfing bar here. All right. So I just picked these up for 65 cents for the 547 strike put. All right, a little early on that. All right, and I'm leaning against the 550 open interest put wall here, at least right now for the morning. All right, because remember, folks, they can come down a little bit, gather some liquidity in here. All right, now this is all gap here, so what you want to do is reference futures. All right, reference futures. So just map out what percent of the gap could potentially be filled. All right, and you phantoms know I will be pulling up some gamma things as well, but this is free YouTube, so I'm trying to protect our stuffs. All right, and if you want to understand that more, then you gotta join the team. So this will be interesting if this little intraday little structure here snaps. We do have daily view up on S&P futures right here, but it's all that gap in SPYs is all this open space here on S&P futures. So we haven't really cracked yet. As mentioned, it's still early, but there's really nothing to stop price if this were to crack a little bit here, other than I would pin that daily VWAP on S&P futures, that white dash line right there. All right, so 55.17, 55.17 there. All right, but nothing has really cracked right now. All right, so this little baby level right here might even provide some kind of just demand support aligned with VWAP here. Albeit it's a very, very, very tiny, small time frame. But that's something that you can lean against to see, okay, if the bulls are gonna take a stance and continue, that would be a little IBI right below with VWAP confluence right there. All right, so that'll probably bring SPYs, give or take, just guesstimating here, probably like right here. So only filling about, not much, still holding the upper third of the gap fill up here. All right, so even if you kind of snuck in some puts, even maybe like small size, small risk, I would definitely be scaling out, TPing some, letting some go here at a minimum. Take profit. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, take profit with an R. All right, it's still early on that though. It's still early on the on the bot put. All right, still early on that. Somebody mentioned Apple. Decent there. Tesla equal to high. Could TP some more Tesla here. Harry Potter. I'm gonna TP some Tesla here. I'm gonna grab this $2.98, $3 handle, give or take, on Premium Air. All right. And I got a 310 fill on Tessie. All right, folks. I gotta go. Completely ignored this time. the time stupid alert that I have here, or on YouTube. I'd work on Q's fairly bullish. Be careful with that level up there. Spies. Ooh, Apple looking decent. Apple's about to take out its mother bar here. All right, the only headache was Visa, and we reduced that. All right, folks, I gotta go. So if there's kind of, if you're new and you're like, what the heck is going on, and you'd like to know a little bit what's going on, and this isn't even everything here. I'm only sharing very select things here. But if this is floating your boat, tooting your horn, and you want to see what the team's like or what it's like, tonight, actually, Thursdays are always unique because Thursdays we have kind of a quick little 90-day at phantoms.com. Hit the register button, and then Thursdays, which is today, if you look at a calendar, August 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We get the name, email, put that in. You all know the drill. Register. You'll get a link, and then you'll be in beautiful hands with Mr. Black and Mr. Green hosting a 90-day class and kind of giving you all the backdrop of what Phantoms is like, right? How markets work from professionals, okay? Demand supply backdrop, okay? Small accounts, big accounts, short-term income, long-term wealth, all asset classes, stocks, futures, forex, options, okay? From a no BS style, all right? And live trading, live. We show you see everything that I do. Everything that I do, you see, okay? All right, super transparent. All right, but hey, we're not for everybody, and that's okay. But if it is something that is of interest, feel free to see what it's like. All right, and I'll take it from there. All right, folks, I'll see some of y'all. You, Tesla, good job. Shout out to whoever called that out to keep me in line with that. And that's working out beautifully. So you might want to TP some more Tesla up here. Good trade. Good trade. All right, we let it prove to us. It proved to us. We executed it. Positive CRG, follow through. Very nice one right there. All right. All right, folks, I gotta go. I'll see some of y'all later tonight in class. And then all that being said, trade safe for the rest of the day. Be patient. All right, long trading day. All right, we're only not even an hour in. And I'll see some of y'all later tonight. All right, folks, I'm out. Blue out. Thunder Thursdays. Strap your seatbelt. Exactly. God bless. Take care. Thank you for everybody that's helping out with the tickers and things like that. See ya.